Ethan Skolnick, this is the latest season ticket. You can also find me on 5 on the Floor on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Make sure to check out all of our streams. Today I want to get into the national perception of the Miami Heat, because right now the Heat are 7-0 in the playoffs, the only undefeated team, 3-0 against the top seed in the entire league, not just the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks, and they obviously have dominated the fourth quarters. The Heat have a plus 28 net rating in the fourth quarter in the postseason. So it was not just what they did in Game 3, the 40-13, but also what they've done the entire postseason. So, of course, you're going to have some bandwagon jumpers now. Those who are not sort of focusing on what the Bucks are doing wrong instead of what the Heat are doing right are going to tell you that all along they believed in this Heat team. That is not true. There's a very small contingent of national media that thought the Heat could contend for an Eastern Conference Finals. This year we had a couple of them on 5 on the Floor, but most thought that the Heat would kind of be in that bracket with the Durantless Nets, with the Orlando Magic, and some of those other teams competing for kind of the 6 to 8 spots in the Eastern Conference. So they were wrong. So let's go through some of the reasons why they were wrong. Number one, Erik Spoelstra does not get enough credit as an elite coach in the NBA. There's too much of this, well, he coached LeBron. Well, yes, he coached LeBron. He also got more out of LeBron than anybody else has at any point, helped develop LeBron's game from an efficiency standpoint to a level that it had never been before, got LeBron to play in the post, which LeBron did not want to do, got LeBron to play the 4, which LeBron did not want to do, and unleashed, again, the most dynamic LeBron we've ever seen, where his physical abilities and his mental abilities came together in that 27-game winning streak where he was absolutely dominant. The idea that Erik Spoelstra is where he is because he coached LeBron is ludicrous, okay? He went to the playoffs twice before LeBron arrived, and there have been circumstances for why he hasn't gotten very far since, one of them being the fact that the player that the Heat decided to build around, Chris Bosh, got blood clots and couldn't play anymore and was taking up a huge portion of the salary cap, and also because the player who was the franchise icon declined somewhat, then had a dispute with the organization and left, okay? So let's get over this idea that Erik Spoelstra is a product of his players, because he's not. We've seen that lately. That's number one. Number two, the Jimmy Butler narrative was always ludicrous, okay? You look at Minnesota and that situation there, Chicago and what that became at the end, and then Philadelphia and the mess that it's been since. Every team that Jimmy leaves gets worse after he leaves, and every team he goes to gets better after he joins. So why wouldn't the same be the case here when he finally joined a stable organization? Look, he tested Erik Spoelstra for the first week he was here, and then he went back and told his associates, this is the best coach I played for. I'm not testing him anymore. And that's pretty much where it's been. He's embraced all of his teammates. He is a huge reason why Bam has found the confidence within himself, as has Tyler Hero, because Jimmy has understood when he needs to push forward and when he needs to allow others to thrive. The number 3 narrative that I want to get to here that has been completely and totally and utterly wrong is the Colin Cowherd narrative that the Heat didn't have any shooters. Now, I don't even know why I bring this one up, because it is so ridiculous when the Heat were number 1 in the league in three-point shooting. But I think what it speaks to is there are too many of the high-level NBA analysts who don't watch the NBA. They just don't watch it. They're given show sheets before games. They decide what Laker narrative they want to come up with. Stop listening to Colin Cowherd, to Jason Whitlock, to Skip Bayless, to all of these people for your NBA analysis. Okay, listen to the Tim Leglers. Okay, listen to some of the people on NBA TV, okay, who get it. Okay, listen to us. Listen to your local reporters if you're not a Heat fan. Stop listening to the national guys. All they're trying to do is push championship narratives with LeBron James or maybe Kawhi Leonard or Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's what they're doing now. They're making this all about Giannis and not about the fact that the Heat are a team that is at its floor and have the chance to be really, really dynamic in the next 3 years. I mean, what they have going on in terms of salary cap space, in terms of young assets on controlled contracts, in terms of, you know, a really stable front office, a very good head coach, and being in South Florida with no state tax, to me, the Heat are more dangerous to the rest of the league than they were prior to 2010, because they've already proven they can do it. They can go in and tell a superstar, look what we did with LeBron. He didn't win before he got here. He won 2. He would have won 6 if he'd stayed. It's Ethan Skolnick, season ticket, 5 on the Floor, 5 Reasons Sports.